In today's video, we're making a Puerto Rican guava cake that is so moist and crumbly. It actually starts with 2 layers of cake that are sandwiched in between a layer of guava paste. You guys are gonna be obsessed with this recipe, so let's get into it. Hello, mi gente, and welcome back to Nata Knows Best. I'm your host, Nata, and in today's episode, if you guys guessed it, yes, we're making panetela. This is a delicious Puerto Rican guava cake that's layered with cake and thick, sweet guava paste. Of course, like most Puerto Rican desserts, for some reason, it's covered in a ton of powdered sugar. I love this recipe for the holidays because it's perfect to serve with some hot coffee or maybe some tea. So let's get straight into the ingredients. We're gonna first start off with our wet ingredients. In this bowl, I have 1 stick of softened butter, and I'm just going to add some sugar, and then I'm just going to cream these ingredients together. As a reminder, for this recipe and all of the measurements, I will be linking it all down below, which will directly lead you to my website, which is nataknowsbest.com. All right, so I have our creamed butter nice and whipped. So now I'm just gonna add some eggs. I'm gonna add them in one at a time to make sure everything is fully incorporated. And now for our flavorings, I'm going to add the classic vanilla extract because, of course, what cake doesn't have vanilla extract? But in addition to that, I'm actually going to add some almond extract. So if you guys remember my Puerto Rican cookie recipe that I made, they were called mantecaditos. I made them last holiday season. Those flavors were very similar to this cake because, of course, it was an almond like shortbread cookie, but it was filled with guava paste. So to complement those same flavors in this cake, we're definitely gonna be adding that almond extract. A little goes a long way with this. I'm going to give it one last whisk. Now that we've finished up our wet batter, I'm gonna start on our dry batter. So in this bowl, I have some cake flour, not all-purpose flour. And that's because I really like the airiness that cake flour is gonna give this recipe. So in the cake flour, I am gonna add a few extra additives. So I'm gonna add some salt and some baking powder just to give it a little bit of the extra height. And now we're gonna go ahead and fold our wet ingredients into our dry ingredients. So here I go. I'm gonna do this in small batches. I'm just folding everything in, making sure I don't over mix and break down any of that air that we've whipped into our butter and our sugar. I have my cake batter nice and smooth. So now it's time to assemble our panetela. So here I have a silicone baking dish, and I'm only gonna put half of the batter at the bottom, because remember, this is going to be a layered cake. That's honestly one of the things that I love about this recipe, besides the fact that it has guava, because I am obsessed with the flavor of guava. If you look at this batter, you're gonna notice that it's definitely on the thicker side, but do not be alarmed. This is exactly what you're looking for. Make sure to spread that one layer at the bottom nice and even. And next, what we're gonna do is add our guava paste in the center. So this is 1 full package of guava paste that I've sliced into maybe like a 1/4 inch pieces. And you're just gonna line this entire baking dish. Don't worry, this is definitely gonna melt down, so it won't be as thick of a layer, but you're definitely gonna get plenty of guava paste in each bite. Now we're gonna place our last layer of the cake on top, making sure to smooth that on and cover our guava. Okay, so I have our panetela nice and assembled. This batter is tasting delicious. Our cake is looking oh so smooth. So I'm just going to place this in the oven and bake it for 35 minutes. All right, mi gente, so our panetela is officially done baking. You want to make sure that after you take it out of the oven, you let it cool for at least 30 minutes because you gotta put the powdered sugar on top and you don't want your powdered sugar to melt. So now that it's nice and cool to the touch, let's get into it. I am just going to put a powdered sugar over it and sprinkle generously. So I cut myself a slice and I'm ready to give this a taste. But first, let's just appreciate this beautiful layers. We got that cake, we got the guava, and of course, how could I forget? Powdered sugar. Wow. That cake alone is so flavorful because we added that almond extract. Nice and light, a little fluffy, crumbly. This panetela is so delicious and it's gonna be perfect when you serve it for your family. If you guys liked this recipe, go ahead and give me a big thumbs up and comment down below. Don't forget, I'll be putting this recipe on my playlist, which is of course Nata Knows Boricua. This is a playlist that has all of my favorite Puerto Rican recipes. Of course, you're gonna find this one along with the mantecadito cookies that I mentioned before. Stay tuned for next week for another delicious recipe. And as always, mi gente, thank you so much for watching. Nata Knows Best.